salute you for the things you bear. Despite the shame and rejection, you chose to play the right part. From the
It's easier than ever to make.
Long before the vomiting start, you made up your mind to love me. You never tried to throw me away. You didn't abort your firstborn like some of them young girls today. You've always been my support throughout the years. In my darkest days, I caused you so many tears. You always pick me up anytime I fall. So I'm putting you right up on a pedestal. Time to step forward and show your face. Mommy, stand up and take your place. Show them you are a woman of grace. Stand up and take your place. You are my number one in this race. Stand up and take your place. I'm singing to you right now just in case. Stand up and take your place. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in society. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in the family. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Param, 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 pam, pam, param. Woman, Grenadian woman, the most authentic woman on earth. Woman, Caribbean woman, come on and show them what you are worth. Female leaders like Queen Nanny, join the Maroon Rebellion. Our own dear sister Jacqueline Craft killed you in the revolution. A former minister of education, trying to install hope in the youth. Yet she was so brutally gunned down, but Grenadians never paid tribute. Now me a Motley and Kamla Bisesa is proof of confidence in a female leader. So based on our political atmosphere, I am proud to emulate Sister Emma Lynn. My girl, time to step forward and show your face. Emma, stand up and take your place. Show them you are a woman of grace. Stand up and take your place. You are my number one in this race. Stand up and take your place. Nobody cannot point finger in your face. Emma, stand up and take your place. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in society. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in the country. Param, 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 pam, pam, param. Woman, black woman, superior because of your melanin. My queen, woman, beautiful woman. Now is the time to show off your skin. Michelle Obama and Oprah make history in America. Nicki Minaj and Rihanna spreading the black Caribbean culture. Eugenia Charles and Rosa Parks, Winnie Mandela from Africa. An outstanding black female figure, well respected the world over. The role that women play in the world today could never be underestimated, no way. From sports to culture, politics to religion, most women making a valid contribution. Time to step forward and show your face. Woman, stand up and take your place. Show them you are a woman of grace. Stand up and take your place. You are my number one in life's race. Stand up and take your place. I'm singing to you right now just in case. Woman, stand up and take your place. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in society. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up up and take your place universally. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Salute you for the things you bear. Despite the shame and rejection, you chose to play the right part. From the day of conception, long before the vomiting start. You made up your mind to love me. You never tried to throw me away. You didn't abort your firstborn like some of them young girls today. You've always been my support throughout the years. In my darkest days, I caused you so many tears. You always pick me up anytime I fall. So I'm putting you right up on a pedestal. Time to step forward and show your face. Mommy, stand up and take your place. Show them you are a woman of grace. Stand up and take your place. You are my number one in this race. Stand up and take your place. I'm singing to you right now just in case. Stand up and take your place. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in society. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in the family. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Param, 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 pam, pam, param. Woman, Grenadian woman, the most authentic woman on earth. Woman, Caribbean woman, come on and show them what you are worth. Female leaders like Queen Nanny, join the Maroon Rebellion. Our own dear sister Jacqueline Craft killed you in the revolution. A former minister of education, trying to install hope in the youth. Yet she was so brutally gunned down, but Grenadians never paid tribute. Now me a Motley and Kamla Bisesa is proof of confidence in a female leader. So based on our political atmosphere, I am proud to emulate Sister Emma Lympia. My dear, time to step forward and show your face. Emma, stand up and take your place. Show them you are a woman of grace. Stand up and take your place. You are my number one in this race. Stand up and take your place. Nobody cannot point finger in your face. Emma, stand up and take your place. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in society. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in the country. Param, 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 pam, pam, param. Woman, black woman, superior because of your melanin. My queen, woman, beautiful woman. Now is the time to show off your skin. Michelle Obama and Oprah make history in America. Nicki Minaj and Rihanna spreading the black Caribbean culture. Africa, an outstanding black female figure, well respected the world over. The role that women play in the world today could never be underestimated, no way. From sports to culture, politics to religion, most women making a valid contribution. Time to step forward and show your face. Woman, stand up and take your place. Show them you are a woman of grace. Stand up and take your place. You are my number one in life's race. Stand up and take your place. I'm singing to you right now just in case. Woman, stand up and take your place. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in society. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place universally. Oh, yo, 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 yo.
Now get to read how we was, yes. We dance for all our readers, yes. So who does matter be party? I'll tell you it. Shout this like them nowhere. We represent. Who's the body's passing? 4-7. Them no crazy like where? Cause we from. Up in nothing we die. And when it comes to fighting, we don't play. We not leaving this life till we stay. Promoter and police can't move away. I say we don't side beats up whenever my team link up. Cause we bring the vibes, we bring the light. Yes, we bring everything. Session can bad with us, we have different energy. Ask anybody who knows man of the party. I'll tell you it. Don't it like them nowhere. We represent. Who's the body's passing? Some no crazy like where. Hey. Up in all things we in there. And when it comes to 13, we not leaving this life till we say. Promoter and police can't move away. Aye. We turn these vibes up. Aye, aye, aye. Party like a holiday. Anywhere we there. That is so we there. So we say. So who does matter be party? I'll tell you it. Don't sit like them nowhere. We represent. Who's the body's passing? Oh yeah. Them no crazy like where. Yeah. Up in nothing we know. And when it comes to fighting, we not leaving this life till we say. Promoter and police. That's why. Till we can't get rid of we waste. No, we can't get rid of.
And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name's Sheldon Scott. I'll be here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour.
We waste. I say, no, we can't get rid of we waste. No way. So we can't get rid of we waste. Cause why? So we there. So who does man of the party? I'll tell you.
Yes, indeed. Saying a special good night to all of you joining us via the YouTube, all of you joining us via the Facebook, wherever you're joining us. We're saying a very special Grenadian good night to each and every one of you.
Shout this like them nowhere. We represent. Who's the body's past?
Yes, indeed. We're representing 473 here.
Them no crazy like where. Hey.
Hope that you all have been having a wonderful day thus far. It's been a bit rainy, yeah? Yeah, you could tell by the mood I dressed today, yeah?
Come to fighting. We not not leaving this spot till we say.
Just one of those days. It's been pretty rainy today.
Somebody's passing.
River Road people, just don't park your vehicles on the road there, and anybody that's park in the stadium, just don't park down there. All right, nice, yeah. We take it in front before in front take us, because we have a government that ain't care about them kind of things.
Just no crazy like where was the frost. Up in mountain we die. And when it comes to
So please don't go parking your vehicles that is try and park going up the hill and them kind of thing on, because you know the possibility of what might happen overnight. We know what might happen.
mountain we don't play. We not leaving this spot till we say. Promoter and police can't move away. I say we don't side it up whenever my team link up. Cause we bring the vibes, we bring the life. Yes, we bring everything. Session camp.
Yeah, we're not saying that it will happen, but it's better not to take the chance, huh?
And we toss we on the
Because we know all you need is a couple hours heavy rain up in the hills, and we know what is going to happen in River Road, because since last year they promised that they have bridge they're going to do, and up to now we cannot see any of that being done.
friends
We're not seeing even it being started.
energy. Ask anybody who knows man of the party.
It was supposed to have been completed during the dry season. The dry season is gone now.
I'll tell you this. Don't it like that nowhere. We represent. Who's the body's passing?
Yeah, so the dry season has gone its way, and you still have that problem. Yeah? Where they have not placed in the bridges, the bridges that they said were already in Grenada, that they got way cheaper than it would have cost to build the bridges, so the Humpback Bridge and the Steels Bridge could have been replaced. And we're having heavy rains. Once you get heavy rains constantly up in the hills, we know what is going to happen. We know with the landslides and the different things, it's going to bring down the bamboo and the other things, clog up the bridges, and then you're going to have flooding taking place.
From no crazy like where. Yeah.
And we're not wishing it. We're hoping it doesn't happen. But we are saying the job should have been done. In case it happened, nobody had to worry. They could sleep good tonight.
Up in mountain we die. And when it comes to 13, we not leaving this spot till we say. Promoter and
Good night to you, Nurse Wendy and McGuire. Yes, you only care about flying. Yeah, right, not that grounded, but only care about flying. And good night to you. I see Wendy and Glenda, Mavis, Agatha. Who else is there under the Facebook? Jillian, Max Courtney, and let's say a special good night to you, Yvonne Courtney, and happy birthday to you. Hope that you had a wonderful day today for your birthday, and hope that you're having a wonderful night. So I hope that you hear this message tomorrow morning, because you're supposed to be out to dinner having a nice time. Nice, good.
police can't move away. We turn these vibes.
So Max Courtney, good night to you. Teresa Colomore, Sherry Lambert, I see you all in there. Annette Mitchell, I see Laslyn Douglas, Sherms Houston, and Antonito Peters, Joan Henry, Rebecca Stafford, Anthony To, Esther Peters, Toya, it's been a while. Charmaine Ragbasing, Dr. Love, good night to you. Cynthia Collins, Delon Pierre, Jacqueline Wells, Olive McEwen, Lynn Joseph, and Shirley Lacrette, John Mark, Elizabeth Douglas, Errol Bonaparte, Winnie Simon, Ingrid Bourne, Cynthia B. Good night to all of you under the Facebook. Remember to like and share. Go right now, like it and share it. Yeah, share it. Nice, yeah. Like and share right now if you're on Facebook, and if you're on YouTube, hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button right now if you are on YouTube. Yeah, that is not good enough, man. What I see? Where Chris London tonight? Chris reappeared on us last night and disappeared. Chris, where you there? Right? Jacket man. I sure I see your name pass across there just a short while ago. Gillian Noel, Abraham, Francis George, Kathleen Ledlow, Errol Bonaparte, Gavin Thomas, Faith Lynn, Hallie Douglas, Andra Burke, good night to you. Shannon Field, Thomas, good night. Lona Lolo Williams, Rodney Barry, Anne-Marie Grant, Agnes Henry, Joyce Lewis, Dalma Scott, Sandra Joseph, and the Carib Spice Fitness Mod, Martin Mayana Julian, Cynthia Bartholomew, Dalton Strawn, Sydney Mark, Sherma Jeremiah, Hermina Batiste, John Stafford, good night to you, bro. Cindy Thomas, Jerome Lewis, good night. Jocelyn Matheson, Deborah Laborde, good night to you, Deborah. Leslie James, Dennis Sandy, Gloria Francois, Jackie Raymond, Redgal Pascal, Jefferson Hagley, good night. Rosalind Jones, Agatha Williams, Moko Joseph, and Moko Pin, good night. Anne-Marie Grant, Antonito, I see you over here as well. Clive Raymond, Alcy Peters, Hilary Joseph, Janice Mitchell, Ron Julian, good night to you. Yolan Pariag, Shirley Skerritt, Raphael Williams, Marcel Hostin, Stephanie John, good night to you and your husband and Tati. Good night to the whole home circle. Christine Otley, Jenny Samuel, Tyrone Mitchell, Teresa St. John, Cicely Celestine, and I see Cecile Bernard. Yeah, wow, Cecile, you're out there in Jamaica. Good night to you, Jamaica. Stories of the Gods, good night to you. And I see Teresa Joseph, Anna Lewis. Yeah, Jacket Man, I know I see your name there somewhere. All right. Jillian Williams. Good night, Jill. Jill, what's up? Good night to your son. Fitzroy Philip, Vaughn Wellington, Ann Andrews, Eddie Jarvis. I see Erica Thomas, Veronica Lewis Alexander, Raphael Joseph, Rick English, Lorna Johnson. I see Joanna George, Franklin Panchu, Gloria Francois, Dolores Redhead. Good night to all of you joining us on the various mediums.
So, party like a holiday. Anywhere we there, love is so we there. So we say, so who does matter be party? I'll tell you it's, don't sit like them nowhere. We represent, who's the baddest party? Oh yeah, them no crazy like we. Yeah, up in all things we day. And when it comes to fighting, we not living this life till we say, promoter and police. That's why, till we can get rid of it.
Yes, indeed, we've got the phone lines open, huh?
Ways.
14734407377. Before we get deep into the conversations tonight.
No, we can't get
Yeah,
rid of it.
a lot of smoke and mirrors, huh?
Ways. I say, no, we can't get rid of it ways. No way. So we can't get rid of it ways. That's why. So we there. So who does matter the party? I'll tell you it's. Shout this like them nowhere. We represent. Who's the baddest party? Them no crazy like we. Hey. Happy nothing we day. And when
Yeah.
it comes to fighting,
Yeah, I know if I was having a problem with the audio, I would already hear from a good friend of mine. He'd have already called. Nice, good.
we not living this life till we say, promoter and
Camille Teresa Scott, the special good night to you, my dear. Hope that you're having a wonderful day. I know when the rain falls, you know them thing they, oh gosh, I could imagine.
police. Sir, no, we can't get rid of we ways. No, we can't get rid of we ways. I say, no, we can't get rid of we ways. Grenada, Carriacou, and Pitsy, but we can't get rid of we ways. I say,
Izzy, my good friend Izzy. How you doing, Izzy?
can't get rid of we ways.
The beautiful Mr. and Mrs. Watts. Mrs. Watts are beautiful and Mr. Watts. No, you are calling beautiful. I call him Mrs. Watts beautiful. you know that is JJ friend. So Mrs. Watts, a special good night to you and Mr. Watts.
No, we can't get rid of we ways.
Now, why would Izzy want to stone me? Izzy, what's the matter with you?
What?
Durity, Selwyn Noel, a special good night to you, my brother.
Say we can't get rid of we ways. No way. No, we can't get rid of we ways. No way. Say
Matthew,
we can't
out there in Canada, special good night to you.
get rid of we
Patty, good night to you.
ways. Say we can't get rid of we ways.
What is the matter with Izzy? Izzy wants to stone me.
No, we can't get rid of we ways. Say we can't get rid of we ways. get rid of me ways. No way. No, we can't.
Yeah, folks, I've been looking at social media over the last week or so, about the last week. And you recognize several trends taking place with social media. Now, when I attended the Grenada National College back in the day, and you realize I didn't say TAMCC, I said Grenada National College. The name changed to TAMCC while I was there. I did a thing called critical thinking. Critical thinking enables you to think more clearly about things. Don't just accept things for what they are. It gives you the ability to see deeper into issues, to understand things in context, and to place a bit of thought before making a decision, among other things. Now, when I see what is being put out by various entities between Wednesday of last week and Wednesday of this week, it shows a high level of desperation. And I say a high level of desperation because, for me, there are people within the National Democratic Congress you realize I barely ever talk about. I don't bother with them. Because to me, I don't consider them to be that important. I don't bother with them. In the case of Ms. Jennifer Simon and the NDC, you realize not only has the NDC started to attack her, but they have also recruited other people to attack her as well. And the same goes for Ms. Linda Straker. Well, Linda Straker has been getting it front and center for the longest while. Yeah? Under the New National Party, some supporters of the New National Party say Linda is a NDC. Under the NDC, supporters of the NDC saying Linda is a NNP. And as a journalist, that's the space you want to be in. Because you don't want nobody feeling that you like this side or you like that side. The same way you used to ask hard questions of the NNP, it's the same way you're asking hard questions of the National Democratic Congress. There are people who now start to pay attention. So they would not know that when it comes to Linda Straker, that has always been it. During the time of the New National Party, people swear Linda had to be a supporter of the NDC. Under the NNP time, they swear she's a supporter of the NDC. Under the NDC time, they swear she's a supporter of the NNP. As a journalist, you're in the right place. Once people always vex with you from both sides, you are in the right place. Yeah? And now you see them attacking Ms. Jenny Simon. Ms. Jenny Simon is not a card-carrying member of the New National Party. I do not know her to be a supporter of the New National Party. I have never seen her attend a single New National Party function in all my attending functions. Be it women's this or youth this or convention or anything, I've never seen her around any of those. But you hear the assumptions being made by people and all the statements being made attacking her simply because she's asking questions. And the thing is, what these people are trying to do, and I say you have to employ critical thinking skills here, is they're trying to shift the story out of what she said to her. So they're attempting to make her the issue here, make her the story. So they have attacked her looks. They have attacked her intellect, her intelligence. In the same way that she does a program, they could go and do a program. Now you're hearing them attacking all of us who do programs that are considered anti-government, and I have no problem with people saying I'm doing an anti-government program. But if all you're saying are getting paid, at least get the amount correct now. Because this kind of amount all you put in there, I wish. Yeah? Me have no problem with that. That does not change the fact that anything I say on this program, none of you with your feeble minds have been able to counteract it. None of you have been able to come and say, Sheldon has said this, or he has played this audio, or he has played this video, and it is not true. None of you. None. Zero. Not one. Out of you all believe you have thousands of you? Okay, if you believe that, go right ahead. I know it's just a couple hundred of you arguing among yourself under different profiles on the internet. But if you believe there are thousands of you, why can't one of you come forward and discredit anything that I say here? Yeah? This program pretty soon will be celebrating 3 years. And not once has a lawyer had to call Sheldon Scott and say to him, hey, you're doing that program and we have a complaint from our client, or send a letter or anything in relation to any of the content that is on this program. We make sure that what we are saying is fact. So you all could attack me. I have no problem. But you all attacking Jennifer Simon. And you all attacking the woman. The thing has already been brought before, and not the thing, the issue with the factual information contained has already been brought to the Integrity Commission. The ball is in the court of the Integrity Commission. But as we heard last night on the news, there is no Integrity Commission at this point in time. While the building is there and the office is there and so on, the commissioner's term of office has expired and they have to be reappointed. And it so happens, with 3 people being brought before the Integrity Commission by Ms. Jenny Simon, that up to this point in time, none of you can say to the government, well, hey, she brought this thing to the Integrity Commission, and we believe we have nothing to be afraid of, and push the Prime Minister and the government to make the recommendations to the Governor General for the new commissioners. You know why? You all know that once the Integrity Commission does their job, and once the people who are on the Integrity Commission have the integrity to do the job and do it properly, once they do that and they do it properly, then you all know for a fact what the outcome will be, and it wouldn't be good for all you. You all know that there are consequences. There are consequences. If you breach the Integrity in Public Life Act and the Anti-Corruption Act, if you have corruptly received payments to provide a particular gift or service or whatever it is, as a public servant, there are consequences, including jail terms. There are serious consequences to those things. You all know that. So you all scared. So you all have been trying to shift the whole discussion onto who signed contract. That is not the issue. Yeah? Those of us with critical thinking skills, who have a modicum of understanding and brain cells, understand that who signed the contract is a secondary matter. The primary matter here is the corruption that you're hearing has taken place. Yeah? The primary matter here is who received payments and from whom and for what. That is the primary matter here. Because it smells of corruption if I buy a property from you, a property that I'm not supposed to be able to sell because the property is for standing security in a financial institution, so I'm not supposed to sell it, but I sold that property. And then right after selling that property, or right before, or around the time of selling that property, the person who buys the property from the seller provides a service, either directly or indirectly, to the person who has bought the property. That is corruption. And you know why they've been asking Ms. Jenny Simon to come out and provide the information? Because there's chaos, smokes and mirrors. The reason they've been trying to do that is because they would like to know the source of her information for them to deal with that person or persons. They want to know where she's gotten the information that she's putting out. Because they know that the information is truthful. They know, I'm saying it here, they know that the information Ms. Jennifer Simon has been putting out is true. They know what Simon says is saying is true. So they have been trying to find out, well, who she get that information from. They have their suspicions, but they want to be able to confirm it. So they know who are the people who are supposed to have that information or who would have access to such information, and they want to terrorize and persecute that person. Not prosecute, no, persecute that person. There's a difference between prosecute and persecute. They want to persecute that person or persons. So that's why they're saying, no, bring forward she don't have to bring forward no information. It's in the Integrity Commission. It's in the right place. MP Ron Redhead at the weekly WEAKLY. Because all of a sudden, they had weekly NDC press conference last week. This week, the weekly press conference, I know, like it gone fortnightly, or it may be turned to monthly or quarterly. I don't know. But the weekly press conference ain't turned up this week. All of a sudden, there's no weekly press conference this week. Me and Ziggy, the plan we go in. Yeah, Ziggy! But we go in press conference. Yeah? I was going as a reporter. Ziggy the going as the cameraman / reporter. We come in. Yeah? But maybe is that they here last night? No press conference. All you're afraid. All you're running scared. Yeah? You all cannot take the real questions from the people of Grenada. Hold on, Papa. Hold on. Let me give you an opportunity. Yes, sir. Cut and go through. Go ahead.
Hey, hello, good night, Sheldon.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Good night, talking points on a rainy Grenada. Hope everybody being safe and monitoring the weather. Sheldon, I have a couple of questions and I hope I can get some answers.
From me?
Before you
hold on. Why from me? I'm not part of government.
It's not governmental question, it's just theory questions. Do you do CXC before you do common entrance or the CPA thing?
No, not that I know of.
Do you get your D-class license before you get B-class license?
I know about that.
Right. So I want to know how somebody getting a master's degree without a bachelor's. Let
me say though, there is a fast track program I've heard at the SGU where you have the possibility without a first degree, a bachelor's degree, to go after a master's degree. So there is a program at the SGU that allows that. So we like to be truthful here. So what I've heard at the SGU that there is a program that allows individuals under special circumstances to go after their master's degree. But you must have a certain degree of knowledge in the area that you're going after the master's for. In other words, for instance, if you're into, let's say you're into I'm trying to choose an area here, but let's say you're in, well, nursing is not a good one because generally you consider that like a first degree. But whatever area it is, let's say you've worked there for years and you've attained a senior position there, you could work towards your master's at SGU without the thing degree. Not defending the man, but being truthful. Go right ahead.
Yeah, like business management. I understand all of that because I listening to all the narratives online with these men and all the questions been asked and all this thing about corruption. Mm-hmm. And like you rightly said, the lady is not saying the gentleman in question signed this and he signed that, and she's saying there's corruption going on and people missing the whole point. And the lady's been chastised by saying that she have documents and things like that. Whatever info she has, she is clearly showing that she is brave enough and adamant to take it wherever it has to go, if it has to go to court. And what I'm seeing happening now, in my opinion, this is my humble opinion, is that many members of this particular administration, including all who is involved, because this thing to me, when I listen to all what's been happening since 2022 with the GDB Bank, with loans that was acquired, property that was being security for the loans, and then property sold. All these things is a chain link of corruption. You're hearing about places that are not finished, projects that are not finished, and far from finished as they are believed to be finished. Because having a bus tour and going certain places is like inviting a guest in your house. There are certain places in your house you would not show the guest, but there are certain dirtiness in your house that you wouldn't show. This is exactly what this gentleman is doing, and I'm telling you, there seems to be going on programs and involved with podcasters who will lean to their narrative. This is why I call diversion tactics and illusions, because people are seeing this thing. Even their own supporters are seeing it, but they just don't believe it. You know, you watch a movie and you see the movie and you don't believe the ending, you don't believe that person is the crook. You watch a movie and you still don't believe. You go back home talking about it now, but I can't believe that, but it's happening in reality. This is the reality of today. The gentleman needs to me, take the goodly lady to court and do whatever recourse you can do to save your name, your character, what have you. But going wrong and having people posting this and posting that and accusing NMP podcasted of this amount of money and all this. Sheldon, when I saw this thing today, I started shaking and laughing. Quite enough friend all idea I see this thing. And I had to laugh.
Listen,
that's a level of desperation.
Listen, to be honest with you, the source that they're using to do that, today is what day? Today is Wednesday?
Today is 11th, yeah.
It have 3 days in the week that I do not deal with stupid people. You know those 3 days? It have 3 days in the week that I do not deal with stupid people. That's today, tomorrow, and yesterday. I don't deal with stupid people.
Yeah.
So if they believe that putting up and saying people earning that amount of money, and that is going to destroy the fact that what the person is saying is truth, it shows a lack of critical thinking skills on behalf of the person that just jumps on that and makes that the issue. And the thing is, it is not true. I can challenge them to prove what they have said. I can challenge them to do that. Prove it. Prove that what you're saying there is truthful. Yeah, and make sure that what you put out is real and not fake. But you see, the thing is, whereas I would come here and say things, and everybody know this is Sheldon Scott, people know where I live, people know everything about me. They know who's my family in Springs, who's my family in Carriacou, who's my family in Guelph. They know all my family all over. Yeah, people know who I am. I am not a hidden entity. I don't have to hide behind fake name to come out and say things about people and the nastiest, most vile things about people. I could say it to their face. I ain't have to hide and say it. If I can't say it to the face, I ain't saying it. So if people want to continue supporting that sort of nonsense, when the same fake name profiles and so on, and I've seen it happen already, people who jump in the DMs and send message to them to attack other people, and then when they get the attack from them, they're crying out, I'm way. Let them go ahead. Go ahead and continue to build those sort of profiles and see how they deal with you.
Sheldon, it goes to show how this present administration is operating with their members and their cronies. Do you remember a certain minister from Carriacou said that he got paid and he account is less than $2 and some cents?
Yeah, that was said very early in the campaign.
Very early in the campaign.
Not the campaign. Very early in the government, yeah.
In the government, right? I wonder what they say now. There are cronies in their circles saying that, oh, I have no money. My bank account is $0 and some cents, but I could sponsor a bus to go there. I could buy it. You see, they are putting themselves in such a situation that they don't realize what they say. And I keep saying what they are saying. Let's record it and play that in our campaign. Our members and caretakers don't need to even just speak about what the people are doing. Just play their own clips. Their own clips will get them in parliament. This is what is happening.
It's talking.
It's
talking points you call and talking about that. So we'll just remind you. It's talking points you call and talking about that.
Yeah. But I'm saying, so when I hear a goodly minister saying that he was a teacher, and let me teach you about he was scientist. Everybody in the goddamn world know this thing. There's a thing called whistleblowers, and whistleblowers are supposed to be protected at all costs once they are blowing the whistle on corruption in any government, be it NMP, NDC, GOP, Donald Trump government. Once it's wrong, it's wrong. You can't support wrong on both sides and say, well, them is do it and I do it. No, it's wrong. And what this gentleman clearly doing is hiding behind cronies. And I was kind of sad today that I see the what you call it in the press conference.
The weekly press
conference. And lately the weekly press conference. And what I realized also.
Just remember which weekly it is, eh? Just remember it's the one with the A and not the
yeah, WEAK, the week one, yeah. What I realized also is that I don't know if it's me alone, but I'm seeing a faction in that administration now. The PM is doing this thing on his own, this GM, PM, whatever I call it. I don't watch it. And then these three guys trying to do their own thing, and then you had a two up in the bush up there. I don't know what going on with them. The young lady in St. John's.
Careful where you're calling bush boy. I'm tell you boy. Now well, because I live from somewhere, I'm tell you. I respect boy.
Well, I'm tell you. But on a serious note, you are seeing the division, and their messages are not.
Are real serious?
The message,
bush boy.
The message not cohesive enough to give me the confidence to say give them another term, because these men doing a lot and they doing a lot of stupidness. But Sheldon, I digress. Have a good night. Miss Kami, nice seeing you today. Have a good night.
All right, wonderful. Yes, indeed, on a rainy Thursday. Wait, no, today's not a rainy Thursday, but tomorrow seems to be a rainy Thursday, and as such, the meeting in Carriacou has been postponed. Yeah, the meeting that was previously scheduled for Leicester tomorrow, that has been postponed. So that meeting is off onto a date to be announced, right? Because, you know, there is a tropical weather system that is affecting the islands of Grenada, Carriacou, and even Trinidad, Tobago. It is affecting the islands. Outside of that, there is a second weather system behind the first one that the weather forecasters are saying is going to affect our islands tomorrow as well. So that we have to expect some rain continuing into tomorrow. All right, but outside of that, folks, remember, this Saturday, the weather going to clear up by then. This Saturday, the New National Party St. George Northeast Women's Committee, they are having their breakfast sale outside of Nick's shop in Bolio from 6 a.m. So only $10. Looking forward to that one. Then the St. George Northwest Youth Group this Saturday as well. From midday, they are having their barbecue fundraiser. Price only $20. That's happening at the Happy Hill Post Office. And again, from midday, they're going to be having music and drinks. You go hear the music and thing, and you know the thing will be nice. All right, so that's taking place this Saturday. First of all, you're getting breakfast in St. George Northeast by the women of St. George Northeast by Nick's shop from 6 a.m. And then, so you need that $30 for Saturday right there. Nice, right? So, and then you're heading up to the St. George Northwest Youth Group for their barbecue fundraiser. All right, nice. Following that, of course, on next week, Saturday, and we know we'll have lovely weather because the beautiful people of St. Andrew Northwest. Good night to you, Mrs. Lorena Waldron and crew. All right, they're having delicious breakfast and lunch. So they're having a breakfast and lunch sale that's taking place Saturday, the 21st of June at the Birch Grove Community Center. So please head on out and support them. So they'll be out from early with the breakfast, and then you can get lunch there too. Anthony, too, you might have to pick me up and we might have a roll boy. Right? Yeah, but that's if I hear, right? Nice. The New National Party Support Group cordially invites you to an exquisite affair. That's going to be taking place next week, Saturday, from 9 p.m. And it's going to be at the Carriacou Hall, 1963 Utica Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11234. And you see the contact numbers there. You see Aisha Olivier, Cathy Albert, Wendy Maguire, P.D. Francis, Sharon Caesar, and of course, in attendance will be our political leader, the Honorable Emlyn Pear, Deputy Political Leader, Senator, the Honorable Norland Cox, and former Prime Minister, Chairman of the New National Party, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. So that'll be taking place next week, Saturday. You have enough time, right? Yeah, music by DJ Jude and small clothes, but you could get small clothes, you could get large clothes, just make sure the clothes fit in proper and thing, and you had DJ small clothes, all right? So that's taking place next week, Saturday. Also, on the 28th, yeah, let me just make sure I didn't skip one. On the 28th, we head back to St. George Northwest constituency as they have a breakfast and barbecue luncheon. That's going to be taking place Saturday, June the 28th at the Bouchejou playing field from 7 a.m. until they've got drinks, they've got music, and I assume they'll have games and thing. And you know, my little dupes here, Kelani, you know, my little dupes and thing. So I'll try and help out the situation. You understand? I must put back up the GoFundMe on my page again, right? That's Kelani George, yeah? She should be 5 now, yeah, 5 years old now, no longer 4. Yeah, I think she should be 4, the birthday come. I have to be sure if she's 4 or 5 now, you know, to check local Kalani and find out. Nice? Right, folks. And this one, we're going to play this one in a little while. Yeah, we're going to play this one in a little while because you could tell that I have the thing off on that machine, right? Nice, right. Yeah, so let me just pull that here and think that so that we could play our ad there. Let me just bring it up for you. So you can
for more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com. We Noise TV, the leading streaming provider. Anytime, anywhere, any screen. Access to your favorite HD contents with prices as low as ever. Choose from monthly, quarterly, or yearly payments. This worldwide service is flexible for you to keep up with all your favorite programs, shows, movies, and local programming from home no matter where you travel to. Worldwide TV channels right at your fingertips wherever you are. Latest in live sports, binge watch all your favorite TV shows, movies on demand, videos on demand. You can pause, rewind, fast forward anytime. Never miss 1 minute in entertainment important to you. No contracts, no added prices for sports or premium packages. We certainly don't have to pull tricks like cable and satellite companies. Our product speaks for itself and beyond. We Noise TV. We have everything like Netflix, Disney, Amazon. Watch your favorite movies, TV shows, and series with our services. With our service, you will get rid of all other subscriptions. For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com.
Yes, indeed, folks. So check out We Noise TV if you're looking for that service. And again, the phone number 14734407377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. And you know, I've been getting, I've been seeing some pictures today and that kind of thing. You understand? I've been seeing some pictures. Let me just say something to Andy for Pandy, right? You paved that particular area. Nice. That's the area you paved that was flooded today. That's the same area you paved. One of the issues that you must look at in that area is the drainage. You all are not cleaning the drain. So as soon as we get significant amounts of rain, this is what happens in that area. Yeah? And if it continues to flood like that, the paving, but we know some of the projects, you all just want projects because it's a nice way to siphon funds. We know that is why some of you like to do these projects and things. Not that it's improving anything or so on, but that it's siphoning funds. Thanks for doing it. Nice. Clean the drains. If you don't clean the drains, the water cannot flow, and the area will continue to be flooded, just as you're seeing here today. All right? Okay, let me see something here. Oh, this is in the stadium. Yeah, that's the stadium today. Yeah, that's the National Stadium, and that is what some people were going through outside of the stadium today. So listen, I mean, the weather forecast has been saying for days now that you're going to have significant amounts of rain taking place in that area. You all could have organized the thing, you understand, instead of having people jam up there. So why couldn't you all take them and put them in the hallway behind the stands, you know, the walkway behind the stands? Why you couldn't take the people and put them up there instead of have them stand up? And I remember, many of these people are already ill people, eh? Many of these people are already people that are ill. Many of these are people that are sick. Many of these are people that have different medical conditions that had to go now and stand up in that pouring rain. So at least you all could have changed the thing around, understanding the situation, and shifted them from standing outside there in the rain and brought them up to the walkway, yeah, behind the seats and them up there, where there's all that space. Why you all couldn't bring them up and bring them up there? Anyway, you just had to tell them thing there, and then I was getting in trouble and all kind of thing. Folks, there's an attempt again, smoke and mirrors. There's an attempt again in relation to the Colin Bishop issue, because I think some of them hoping that we leave that issue alone. Eh? This issue has the possibility to drag the Prime Minister of Grenada deep into it. And that's why I think they're hoping that people like me, people like Jenny, people like Mr. Pierre and Andre Donald, and you know, you have independent journalist Linda Straker, that all of people like us leave this story alone, because you know, things like this, GBN and them afraid to touch these things, because I realize with them right now there's a certain level of fear in relation to things. Yeah? I realize when it comes to that entity now, there's a certain level of fear. I don't know where it's coming from, but I realize that certain stories, they ain't touching it. And if they do touch it, they're only taking one slant to it. That's the government line. Yeah? Even if they're broadcasting something from the opposition, I realize in many instances, they have to kind of cage it in a kind of way to make the opposition look bad. But say, well, we know the thing going on. Yeah, all you're under pressure. Poor all you. Right? And that's why it takes people like us to come out and speak on issues. So when it comes to that Colin Bishop issue and Review Enterprises or Limited or whatever it's named, yeah, the entire process as was laid out by the, let me see, I should have the the documentation here. The entire process that was laid out in the suspension. And let's go back to the suspension here. I'm just pulling up the suspension document. In relation to the suspension, and again, let's take a look at that. It comes from the IMA, yeah, which I call the CBI committee anyway. And they're speaking here about suspension of Reef View Enterprises Limited as a local agent under the Grenada Citizenship by Investment Program and the Investment Migration Agency under the direction of the Citizenship by Investment Committee hereby notifies all stakeholders that effective June 6, 2025, Reef View Enterprises has been suspended from operating as a local agent until further notice under the Grenada Citizenship by Investment CBI program. Now, remember what I told you all, that when it comes to that particular issue, that there is no way that the CBI committee or the IMA could suspend anybody. It has to be done by the minister. And we were able to bring up here for you, the CBI Act itself. And let me just try to get the exact part again. Section 4.6. So let's just get section 4.6 of the CBI Act here, which is very clear in the way that this has to be done. Yeah? Where it says the minister, not the CBI committee, none of them. It has to be the minister is the one that has to do that. The minister. Yeah? So let me just bring that across now. Yeah? The minister may revoke the license of any agent granted a license pursuant to the provisions of this act if he reasonably believes that agent's performance does not meet the standard, required standard in particular. So, and there are various things that has to be done, right? The person has to be written to, they have to be given 30 days to write back and all of that. It has to be published. It has to be published. Either in the Gazette, and let me check the Gazette. No, I ain't seen nothing like that in the Gazette yet. And I think one local newspaper, so it has to be published as well. So it has to be published so that folks would know that, hey, this is the situation. In other words, the process being used, the process that's being used in relation to these two, the process that has to be used is that this one here is supposed to write to this one, giving him 30 days to answer to whatever it is. That has to be published and so on. That hasn't taken place. In other words, the process that is being used right now between these two is not the process that has to be done. You understand where I'm coming from? In other words, the process is flawed, which opens the area now that this individual who is accused of serious wrongdoing under Grenada's CBI program can challenge in a court of law the process that was used to stop his company from taking part. Or we may very well find, because again, the flawed process, the wrong process, was recently used in relation to Heng Seng, and we saw them being reinstated. So we heard that Heng Seng, they accused them of being involved in wrongdoing in the CBI program. We heard that Heng Seng was involved in wrongdoing, and then all of a sudden we're hearing now, in the midst of all of this, very quietly we're hearing that the same Heng Seng who was accused of wrongdoing is now back as an agent for Grenada. That's what we're hearing. But again, the process that was used in the first place was the wrong process. That's why I'm saying smoke and mirrors. If you check the Citizenship by Investment Act, if you check the various other SROs, I'm looking for another document here. If you check the other documents in relation to this, it tells you clearly, the SRO in relation to that, it tells you clearly what has to take place. And that is not taking place. Yeah? It is not taking place. It did not take place in a proper manner for the last person they suspended, and we saw that person put back in. And remember, part of the accusation in relation to the said individual here is that he had involved the Prime Minister in overturning the decisions in relation to some people who had applied for citizenship, did not get through. He was promising people that he could speak to the Prime Minister and have those decisions reversed. That is what the accusations are. And if there was nothing to the accusations, why did the IMA take the action, which legally it can't take anyway, but why did the IMA take the actions that it has taken? Yeah? If there's nothing to it, you don't believe that is true, you know there's nothing, he never talked to the Prime Minister and tried to get the Prime Minister to overturn any applications that came in and they denied. He didn't utilize government ministers and others, including people like Ms. Andrea St. Bernard, who is deeply involved in CBI, that he didn't utilize persons like that around the Prime Minister to get the Prime Minister to overturn any decisions that were made before not to grant certain people citizenship. If that is not so, then why suspend? You all understand how the smoke and mirrors are going. These people are giving you a facade. They're giving you the impression that they're really doing something, when in truth and in fact, what they're doing is protecting themselves and protecting certain individuals. So you ought not to be surprised if you realize this issue dies down and you hear nothing about it, and then 2 months, 3 months down the road, same as you heard with Heng Seng, you hear you hear, oh, Heng Seng involved in this and that and so on, and you hear suspension and investigation taking place, and then you hear Heng Seng back as an agent again. Do not be surprised you hear the same thing in this situation, especially since you hear the Prime Minister and people in the rings of associates around him, names being mentioned as being part of the corrupt act that this individual is being accused of. So in order to protect themselves, the process itself is not being done in the manner that it ought to be done. Let me repeat. The process itself is not being done in the manner that it is supposed to be done. They are setting this entire thing up for failure and legal challenge. Remember, it is the same Prime Minister who we were hearing whispers, and in some places we were hearing shouts, that he was involved with the people behind the Kawana Bay, that they helped fund his election campaign. That same individual. We were hearing that Kawana Bay people funded his election campaign. And next thing, as soon as he got into office, the Kawana Bay people had their thing against the state of Grenada. They had their case against Grenada. And what happened? He didn't put up a defense against it. He went and he just paid them, I think, $22 million. $22 million. I think by now they probably finished paying them. In a case that he should not have paid them, because had the state of Grenada gone to court, the state of Grenada would have won. That is why the NNP wasn't flustered by it. Because they knew that once the matter got to court, that the government of Grenada would have won. Because you can't be doing a hotel project in Grenada. Yeah, you're being allowed a certain number of citizenships for that program in Grenada. And when you receive the money for those citizenships to do a project in Grenada, instead of the money being utilized in Grenada, the money ending up in a different country in a different project. That is not what the people put their money into. If you put $200,000 US into Kawana Bay, your money should be spent on Kawana Bay. It shouldn't find itself in St. Kitts. It shouldn't find itself up in St. Lucia. It shouldn't find itself in Jamaica or anywhere else. It should find itself in Kawana Bay in Grenada. So the new National Party government said, hey, this is what we believe is happening. We are putting a hold on everything while we deal with certain aspects of it. The individual didn't like it, and I'm putting it the simplest way now, and they decided to take it to court. It wasn't a matter that NNP just get vexed with the people, and so these are some of the things that were taking place. These were some of the things. Because I hear them talking about Kowana Bay like that was some great coup for them and they achieved something by that. No. If that had gone to court, the government of Grenada definitely would have won. That was a surety. Yeah? And folks, the phone lines are open, 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside. And I saw an article earlier today in relation to Grenada and its debt and the increased debt. And some of the things that I was looking at with it was that, one, with the increased debt, there was no, how should I put it? With the increased debt, the areas it was being spent in, the money was being spent in, were not creating jobs. They were not creating entities or something that would bring money into Grenada. It was dead money. So this government has been borrowing, and what they've been utilizing the funds for. So you heard the Saudi Arabia and you heard other money that they're borrowing. And you're not even hearing much about how they're borrowing, and so you have to wait until it reaches in Parliament and then ask questions. And then they ask, like, why are you asking questions? And all of the news answer questions and that kind of thing. So they are borrowing. And what they are doing is that they have not, you look around, where are the capital projects that at least create construction jobs that the government has borrowed and has done? The construction jobs we see going around now still date back to the New National Party period. The borrowing, if there was borrowing and not grant funding in relation to those things, that came from during the New National Party period. So those created jobs. And then things like Fort George, when that is complete, it will create other permanent jobs from the people who will have to work up there to upkeep, and the people who will have to work there for the tours and different things. It would create employment in that sense up there as well. So under the New National Party, you could see that when you borrowed and you utilized the money, you saw capital projects, you saw infrastructural projects, you saw other projects that were done that created employment. Meanwhile, let me ask the young people out there, those of you that are sitting at home right now and you're unemployed, and not just the young one, because we always talk about the young one and we forget middle-aged people too. Because there are people in their 30s, their 40s, and their 50s who are unemployed as well. But we always talk about those under the age of 30 that are unemployed. When those who are in their 30s, their 40s, and their 50s usually have much more responsibilities and they're unemployed too, but we're only talking about the young ones that are unemployed. We're not saying that they're not important, yet we are saying that the others are just as important as them. So you're hearing the government is borrowing this pile of money and they've added on how much on the national debt, but you're still unemployed. And guess what? Even unemployed, you and your children have to pay it back. You understand where we're coming from with this? You're also seeing that government now has earned less money. Now that was projected in a sense when they spoke about the Russian pipeline and the money that had to come in through the Russian pipeline. But this government has been heavily, two things they're focusing on: kill you on the port and CBI. They're not lowering the cost of goods coming in on the port and so. You look at the 2025 budget, and there are no significant measures inside there to reduce the cost of living for Grenadians. In the last 24 months or so, what have you seen? You've seen additional taxes on water. So the water you're getting from the Wasa and even the bottled water that you have to buy. Yeah? So there are additional taxes on those. And outside taxes on those. You see additional taxes on sugar. So for those things that are produced that have sugar, even if it's a little bit of sugar just for taste, the prices of those increase together with because they're using water, they're using sugar. They have reinstated taxes on electricity that was removed by the New National Party prior to the 2022 general election. They've put that back, driving back up the cost of production for locals who are into production, and driving back up the cost of electricity at your home, which could have been lower now had that remained as it was. So all of these things have contributed to an increase in the cost of living. And when you look at the consumer price index and you see what's going on with fruits and vegetables, you see what's going on with issues like rice and so on, and poultry. And so this government has no clue, has no plan, has no strategy of how they're going to address the high cost of living, which, and be warned, is going to get much, much worse in the next few months. Be warned. Last year, we were warning you that you would see continued increases throughout the year. The CPI, as released by the government, has proven that what we have been saying is right. Now, we see the CPI again pointing to significant increases. And one of the serious areas that, at least if they take how much million it was, 2.5 million a year or something they're giving to Mount Sinai or whatever, they're spending those millions of dollars, yet still the cost of basic medication is going up. The cost is going up. And right now I'm hearing a situation. Yeah, I'm hearing a situation now. Just responding here. I'm hearing a situation now where people in some of the health centers cannot get diabetic medication. So I'm hearing that now. That certain health centers, and remember, diabetics are people that can't play around. Yeah? They run the risk of ending up in a coma. They all kind of things could happen. Going blind, losing limbs, because if they get a cut, it might be a simple cut to you or me, but a cut to a diabetic is a dangerous thing because it does not heal, and they can end up losing a limb or their life. So they have to be very careful in relation to those things. How they get cut, if they get cut, that kind of thing. They must maintain their blood sugar level. So we can't have a situation in various health centers, especially on the East Coast, I'm hearing, where people are going in, they're going to get their medication, and they cannot get medication at the health center to help manage their diabetes. That is a serious situation. That is indeed a very serious situation. 1473-440-7377.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we till long time to get to the program. We causing it, tell them straight we causing it. We not switch, we not change up. They inside of it non-stop. We causing it, tell them straight we causing it.
Let me just let you all know the items that we asked for is now on Islanders. So they will be delivered soon. I don't know who volunteering to go and deliver. Whoever is volunteering to go and do the delivery on behalf of Talking Points, make sure you give me a message in my inbox. Well, no, inbox me on the WhatsApp, not on the Talking Points Facebook inbox. I rarely get the opportunity to go there. I have a crazy day.
They go talk, let's talk, we don't care, cause it's full enjoyment in the air. In a different state of mind, yeah, we out, yeah. Cause if I feel to play a mass, I go play mass. And if I feel to drink the rum, I go pour one. Cause I do what I want when I feel like everything going good like the love strike. We up there, getting on band like if we celebrating.
Yeah, and I wonder how, and let me just take this call. And hello, good night. We have a caller. Good night.
Hi, good night, Sheldon.
Hey, what's up?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not good. I hearing now that certain health centers people are going to, and they cannot get diabetic medication, and that's worrying.
Sheldon, I'll tell you something. It's very, very discouraging. I mean, I feel sorry for those patients, but it's very, very discouraging to take your time and send stuff to Grenada to assist people. I mean, when you try to help, it's the fight down, the beat down. It's like you kill, I don't know, Jesus, or you do something so bad. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting really turned off. I mean, I've been trying my best to help. And when I help Sheldon, I don't ask if it's NDC or if it's NNP or if it's what is that thing, the movement, whatever party or this other. I don't ask those things. You asked you mentioned there was a need for the IV tubing. Sheldon, I dropped what I had to do. My certification for my nurse practitioner is about to be up, and I was supposed to be doing the courses and all of that to renew it. I dropped that. I went and I get the IV tubing. It was sent down. I asked somebody to send it for me. Mr. Watts take his good time and assisted me because people who know I'm busy from Monday to Thursday. I work 10 hours. So once I leave the house in the morning, when I come back, it's late. I can't do anything till Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I send the IV. Mr. Watts helped me. Only to pick up the IV tube in Sheldon. It's like you kill Jesus. I have to get calls. They want the invoice. I said it's a gift. Okay, there's no invoice. Okay. Then they call back. They want the tracking number. If I had to leave my house every morning, Sheldon, with all these things, thinking about a tracking number and to have this, what is going on? Why all this fight down? And you trying to help people? What's the fight down about? I don't understand.
Well, probably what we might have
Something
to do
like
is
that.
we might have to open our own NGO. Maybe that might solve the problem.
Something like that should have been expedited. It's not for me. I don't need it. It's not for me. I'm trying to help the people. Something like that should have said, okay, it's here. Let's expedite it. Get it to the hospitals for the people. I don't even know. For all I know, it could be only NDC people using it. For all I know, it could only be NNP. It's for. I don't know who for. I don't care. That's not my concern. That's not why I sent it. I sent it to help people. Why are we so spiteful and so vindictive and so Sheldon, you saying you and Auntie Jenny? I think I come on the same level with you and Auntie Jenny, and I don't know what I've done to people. I've been called all kind of names. I've been told I have fake page. I've been told I have this. I've been told my degree is fake. What's all the fight down about? Me don't have time for these things. And some of the same set and NDC people know my degree is fake because they see it. They know it. Okay, we don't want to call names now, but they know. So what's all of that about? It makes you not even want to hang around Grenadians anymore with the attitude. That's just how I'm feeling.
And this is a sad situation.
It's a sad. I'm serious. So this morning I was saying to Jill, I said I don't even want to go to some of these things with the way these people behaving. It's okay to say a false thing against some people, but the moment when you say something, and especially if you have a proof, is the biggest problem out. It's like I don't know. Like I said, they kill Jesus.
But
What is going on?
I'll tell you what's happening there as well, Wendy Ann. There is a belief by the NDC that if they're able to control the stories on social media, people like yourself who might post things positive towards the new National Party and anti the government, they believe that they need to find a way to scare you into silence, to scare you into not feeling to post the exact thing, like you don't want to go to activities and so because you're scared. You're afraid to put up something on your page, your own page, you know. You're afraid to put it up because they're going to come out and attack you. You don't want to go onto a television program or a radio program or a podcast because they're going to jump out and attack you. And it's the way that they're doing, for instance. Every time somebody like myself or Jenny or so on says something and it becomes controversial, you realize Right Along has to come to try and destroy us as much as possible. He has to come and do a program and allow people to say the nastiest things under there about us and try to attack. And when you say straight up that he's a supporter of the NDC, he tries to give the impression he's impartial. No, he's a supporter of the NDC. Do like me and come out and say it. You understand? But these people say the nastiest things about people.
Sheldon, from since a child, my mouth, nobody can cut. I'm telling you something. I speak my mind. From since a child, I tell everybody. I used to get licks for only one thing, for my mouth. Because I'm a person, I speak just how I see it. I don't sugarcoat. If that's it, that's it. You understand? I don't sugarcoat, I don't lie, I don't cover up stuff. If it is, it is. Like I said, on my jobs I work with, my managers know. They know if this is not going right, Wendy's gonna talk about it, and there's nothing they're gonna do. They're not gonna fire me because they know it's the truth, and it is, and I'm gonna tell them this is not how it's supposed to be done, or this is not right, and let's do it the proper way, and that's it. Because I don't understand. Everybody's entitled to give their opinion, their views. If something is not going right and you speak about it, what's the attack? I don't understand.
Well, my friend, you know me afraid nobody. So they ain't stopping me from going anywhere I feel like going. They ain't
If
stopping me
you go
from
on
saying anything I
Facebook
want to
and
say. Me afraid none of
if
them.
you say something on your Facebook, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. Why should people have to come and do all this, say and attack you because you want, and everybody's entitled to speak your mind? The last time I checked, the Facebook page was mine. And I don't call people names. So people can't come and say this and that. I don't understand. It's a bunch of people that wants to be irrelevant and just looking for attention that comes out there doing these things. And at the end of the day, you see, when you have nothing to do and your life is boring, you find and look for things to do. I have something to do. Every day I go to work, I come back, I love my job, I enjoy it. So them thing and them don't really matter to me. So who want to say what? I could care less.
No, so
But
don't even waste time with
but
them anymore.
but the only thing that's bothering me is that when it comes to sickness and you're trying to help, you understand?
Hmm.
The fight down and the beat down makes you don't want to do nothing.
So again, let me
You
let me
know?
just repeat again to the listeners because somebody might step forward who is willing to do it. Because in my present stage, I am unable to do it myself. We need a 2 or 3 volunteers to drop off the items. If 2 or 3 people are willing to take the item and drop it off on behalf of Talking Points, please get in contact with me. Yeah? Just making sure folks know. Hello? Yes, Wendy, you there?
Sheldon,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, and the people that don't have the medication for the diabetes, the only thing I can say to them in the meantime, just watch what they eat. Limit your starch, your sugars, your rice, your bread. Just try to cut down on the carbs. Increase your veg for the while until you get it. Because, like you say, diabetes, the whole works. Your kidneys, your eyesight, amputation, a whole lot of stuff just by having diabetes. And like you said, sugar too high, too low, it could kill you.
I've known
So,
situations of people who their blood sugar was high. They went to sleep and wake up
mhm,
blind.
yeah,
Went to
don't
sleep
mess.
and wake up blind. Yeah.
One thing you don't mess with is diabetes. That's just something you don't mess with. Sheldon, my dad had diabetes. My grandmother has diabetes. And I don't even want to get there. If you notice, sometimes I starve myself. That's why I stay how I stay because that's something I don't want. So before it get there, I diet myself. I don't drink any juice and all of that stuff. I don't drink those things. If I eat rice and my carbs, I limit it. That's what makes you gain weight, your carbs. And I limit those things because the last thing I want to do is have diabetes.
Oh boy, I think that's the last thing any of us want.
Because I have it on both sides. So that's about the only thing. My mom I'm so grateful. My mom has nothing. She's good. She still works. She does everything. Nothing. Not on any medication, anything. So I don't want it to get to that. But when you look at people with diabetes and you see they don't have the medication, Sheldon, within 2 3 days, you know what that could cause? Just not having the medication.
That could cause damage to your kidneys. That
So
could cause
you
damage to your system. All how, yeah.
you sit there and you watch that and you feel sorry. Sometimes sometimes 2 weeks ago we had a holiday here while everybody was going out to the fete and stuff. I drove 2 hours up Long Island to get diapers, to get this, to get that, to send back for people. But then sometimes I sit there, Sheldon, and I say to myself, should I really be doing this? Should I not be, sitting home doing something, relaxing, going there, and just enjoying myself? Because you do those things and then and the fight down and the beat down you get. Sometimes you wonder, should I even do it? You know? It's such a shame. And I hope people wise up, like you say, get a critical thinking class and stop the nonsense that's going on because it's not worth it. Get something to do with all your life that's positive.
Well, see, that's the entire thing. They they spend so much time trying to malign other people and destroy other people. And I'm just getting something out here for Javon, as usual. They spend so much time trying to destroy other people that they not spending time taking care of themselves.
Yeah,
Nobody
but
wish
if they
them bad.
spend,
Nobody wish them bad, but that is what happens.
but the time you spend it to do that, go make something of yourself so you won't have to hate on people for no reason, attack people for no reason because your life miserable and you want others to be like that.
All right, my
It's
dear.
a very, very sad situation. I've never seen this. Sheldon, I'll tell you this thing, that and I go because I'm taking up of your time. Sheldon, my co-workers, they're from Haiti. And they had children sponsoring, and I sponsored a child with his books, with education, everything in Haiti. And 2 months ago, Sheldon, they called me in, they had a gala, and they awarded me for sponsor of the year all the way in Haiti. Okay? This is how appreciative these people are. Okay? This is how they are. I did something that's they saw the good in it. I don't have to do it. I don't nobody. I don't have kids, family in Haiti. I don't have nobody, but I helped out a child. And look how much they appreciated. They gave me a plaque. Okay? You go in Grenada and you try to help them, and look at what they're doing. They run down, they beat down. Oh, you have to get. I have to get your name. I have to get this. For what?
Do not allow them to stop you from doing what, because they may stop you from saving some lives. Do not allow, and that's the final thing I'm telling you. Do not allow them to stop you. Nurse, we're going to be in contact soon again, as soon as the program is over.
Yes.
All right?
Okay, Sheldon.
Okay,
Take
my
care.
dear.
Have a blessed night.
Thank you
Night
so very
talking
much,
to
my
our
dear.
family. Love you guys.
Yes, indeed, folks. And I just needed to, as we are speaking healthcare and so there as well, because again, as I keep telling you, smoke and mirrors. During the last month, I know that, and let me take this call. Hello, good night.
Good night, bro.
Yes, sir.
I would just like to encourage us. Don't get weary in your well doing. Whatever you're doing, you do it as unto God, not unto man. So don't pay mind to them, let it discourage you and lose your blessing. Keep on keeping on, be encouraged. And He will send help to help you. He'll put wind between your wings to move on. So don't get discouraged. Have a great night.
Thank you so very much, my brother.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, because nurse does quite a lot. And to see the nasty things that some people who, you have to ask, what have they ever done or do they do for the state of Grenada? And I think we have a caller online. Hello, good night. Caller, you're live. Go right
Hi,
ahead.
sir. Hi, Sheldon, you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go right ahead.
Speaking about what Miss Wendy was talking about, we have a serious problem in St. Mark's, St. John's, St. Patrick's. There is no medication for the diabetes patients. Some of them are the same ones that the pension took away from them and they can't afford it. A lot of people are suffering. You could see all the old people are standing by the being torn away from the health centers because the simple thing like metformin is only $5 and the health center is saying that there is no medication. So I don't know what could be done about this.
So it's the same situation again with the medication that I've been hearing about. You're saying so it exists in St. Patrick, St. Mark, and St. John, that they're not getting the diabetic medication, the metformin and so on. Metformin, not metformin, metformin.
Yes, and people can't afford the insulin. Insulin is $60 something, and there's the same set of people that they take the pension from.
My goodness.
So they don't have no money to get. I don't know what could be done, but a lot of people is crying out, the pressure is high and they don't have no medication. They can't afford it and they don't have no money. There's a real serious situation upon that side.
Okay, my dear. Thank you so very much for your call, caller. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, folks. So you're hearing it for yourself there again from somebody who knows exactly what's going on. So St. Patrick, St. Mark, and St. John. Because I was hearing the West Coast have that problem. I'm not sure if the same problem exists on the East Coast and in the South and so. But when it comes to metformin and so on, and then the people, many of the people who usually go to the health center to get these medication, they are the older and in some cases the indigent and so on, who were on the seed program, and a lot of them get kicked off the seed program. A lot of them. So they can't go and buy insulin for $60. They can't go and buy that. And $60, no, believe me. Because remember, the United States has stated clearly that they want pharmaceuticals no longer to be made in India and China, but they want them to be made in the United States. So they are going to impose some measures that are going to pressure the pharmaceutical companies to, one, start returning to the United States, which is going to take a period of time because they have to find place, then they have to train people, and they have to equip the factories and so to be able to start producing there. And then they have to source the supplies, which they may end up having to get from the same China and India anyway, which is going to increase the cost of production. And for a period of time, it's going to spike the price of these items like the same metformin and insulin and all these things that people need. Yeah? So it is a situation where the price of medication is going to go up. And the consumer price index is already showing us that the price of medication has been going up every single quarter. You're recognizing that the price of medication, there's no way that you've seen it gone down. Everywhere it continues to go up and more up and more up. And while all of this is taking place, you're having a problem with surgeries at the General Hospital. About a month ago, a message was sent out to the medical staff that non-emergency surgeries, so in other words, elective surgeries, surgeries that could hold on, would not be done because they were having a problem at the hospital facility with the autoclave. Now, the autoclave is the machine that they use to sterilize the equipment and so that people don't get infection. If you're doing an operation on a person, you must sterilize all of the scalpels and all of the things that are going to be used must be sterilized so that they will not pass on an infection. It must be done properly. The machine to do that is not working. The machine to do that is not working. So about a month or so ago, a note was sent out to some of the doctors and the senior staff and so on, letting them know that the autoclave is not working. And as such, non-elective surgeries, is non-elective, yeah? Non-elective surgeries would not be done. Yeah? Was it non-elective or elective? Yeah, one of them. The one that you could choose to put off, or that's not life-threatening, those surgeries, they would not be done. And it had to be real life-threatening for them to do it because the machine was not working. So I know they get it to work. So sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not working, and so. Yet still, you take how much million and you give to? What the name again? Mount Sinai? You take how much million and you give to how the name? Mount Sinai. But your autoclave in your general hospital that you need to sterilize the equipment to perform procedures is not working. Tell me where that makes sense. We have a caller. We have a caller. Hello, good night.
Yes, good night, Brother Sheldon.
Hey, how you do, pa?
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
All right.
But I think we have to transfer you on Tante Jenny, send you all a special assignment in CID. Because it's just the indictment to take place now. But having said that, I am saddened by our dear sister nurse that called with that grave concern. I believe our nurses here in Grenada and the United States maybe have read the Florence Nightingale mission, that their mission, they are compelled to do things to save lives, and that's very important. That's a human service and the way to go to help to help people that are in need. But well, we are beaten for it. We have been seriously beaten because of the good that we kind of trying to bring out. But I am positive that a good going to come out of that. So I want to encourage Nurse Maguire to continue as the brother did, encourage her to continue doing good. Be not weary in well doing, for in due time you're going to reap that which you have sown. All right. So Nurse, continue flying the flag. Now, Brother Sheldon, that document that apparently came from the head of state with regards to the new assignment seemed to be right. I'm not sure about that. To our prime minister.
Oh, the document
Have you?
that was gazetted. I've looked at it. I decided to speak about that tomorrow night.
Please, because we need to know, because I'm feeling I have in my guts that because the truth is being spoken about, all right, they will try to cover up. They will try to put things to block us, to block the persons that are speaking out against the ills. And so that is to tell you that there's something fundamental, there's something really going on, something really going on.
Let me put it to you like this, huh?
Yes,
the
please.
Prime Minister was appointed to a non-existent ministry.
Okay,
there was no budgetary provision for that ministry, so the Prime Minister was appointed to a ministry that don't exist. It's similarly, this also happened when MIT was created. There was no budgetary allocation for a Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation, and Transformation. And this person was put into that ministry and so on. And that wasn't fixed until way later down they made a budgetary provision for that ministry. As it is right now, what they're speaking about here, yes, that department existed before under another ministry, but what you have done is you have reconstructed a ministry now, and there's no budgetary allocation under that ministry for that. So they'll fix it, they'll bring it in line now, they'll try to put it in line. But in my view, and that's why I said I'll deal with it tomorrow night, because I wanted to do a bit more research in relation to it.
Yeah, because I dig up a lot to the tour. I went through the Constitution, the Grenada Constitution, and I've seen nothing with regards to that. Nothing whatsoever. But haven't we told that we're gonna be made aware of everything that is going to be happening? We're gonna be
you and I know that is a joke.
Yeah, and I want to call out on the religious and Christianity forces outside there to speak up, listen. I find it strange that you read the Bible, you read the Quran, you read just whatever religious document that you have, and regardless, all of it would be saying that we need to do good to one another, love one another, and one aspect of loving one another is reaching out and help those that are somewhat blinded, that cannot see and cannot talk. We call them the underprivileged. We need to watch it. We need not to be scared. We over the years we've been frightened to talk out. We've been afraid to share opinion, to say where we are standing. But we need to really and truly stand up and get rid of all of these ills and negatives that's against our people of Grenada, Carriacou and PD Martinique. So I want us to encourage the opposition, Sister Honorable Emmeline Pierre, and Brother Cox, and all the forces, all the different groups that stand against wrongdoing. We want to encourage them to continue standing. It's something good. That's a good thing you're doing. Have a good night. Take care.
All right, brother. Thank you. Folks, I was just telling you all about the situation in relation to surgeries and so on. Let me just show you all that. quickly, if you think, because you see there's acts of proof. So let me give them proof, right? Cancellation of elective surgeries. They're all kindly be informed that elective surgeries have been regrettably cancelled. This is due to the non-functioning of our autoclave, which requires repairs. Emergency surgeries will be accommodated. Thank you for your understanding. Regards, L. McSween, Administrative Office, General Hospital. Yeah? That does ask for proof when you're saying things. So here's the proof. And this comes from the medical director, all right, at the General Hospital in relation to surgeries and so on. Now, what I'm hearing now is that some surgeries are taking place because they get it to work every now and again. So some surgeries from time to time are taking place. Some surgeries are taking place from time to time. They are getting some of them done, but it is still a situation that many surgeries are not being done. Yeah? That they can't do many of these surgeries still. We're still having that situation, and it is something that needs to be fixed. Because if we could find millions to give to these people, there are some basic things that need to be done at home. Yeah? There are some basic things that need to be done at home. Oh boy, yeah, someone is saying that they're so upset with what is being done to nurse and so on. Yeah, and that is what goes on as soon as you stick your head out and you say you're going and deal with certain things. Yeah, and you're going to help in certain ways. And the people who are doing it, when you ask, what have they done for the country? Or what are they trying to do? They're seeing you fighting up, you know. They're seeing you fighting up, trying to do things for Grenada. They ain't taking part. They ain't trying to help. They ain't saying, I'm going to join with them. They ain't saying, okay, I ain't joining with them, but let me do something on my own separately. They're not doing any of that. But instead of that, what are they doing? They're trying to fight you down so that you don't do anything. And that's the disgusting part of it, eh? Because you see, the NDC as an organization right now, it doesn't seem as though they have direction. In fact, I'll take that back. They have direction. The direction is out. That's where they're heading. Out. One direction. Out. And while heading out, they have nothing to offer to the Grenadian people except trying to propagandize issues and attack individuals. So you see Nurse Wendy and Maguire, part of the Nurses Association, a non-political organization. I'm sure the nurses in the organization generally don't even know who each other support, because that's not what they get together for. They get together to try and help the people of Grenada in whichever way possible, whenever possible. So they don't get involved in all the other nonsense. Yeah? But then they're seeing her involved in that. They're seeing her involved in doing different things. I could make a call now and I could say, look, we urgently need this, and get it down. That right now we have the medical supplies in Grenada already, just to go and drop off. So again, anybody that's willing to assist, just message and let me know. That we already get to that stage already. That we see an issue and we say we're going to help. And who gets the attack? The same people who are trying to help. And you know the bad thing is that you have some people who, again, and I'll go back to it, do not utilize critical thinking skills. So here it is, you have people that are trying to help. They're saying what the problem is, and they're also trying to help. They could have said that is the problem and leave it like that, let it get worse, let people die, let what kind of thing happen, and then start to cost the government on it. But they said, no, let us try, because this is dealing with human life. Let us try to help. And these are the people they're attacking. Nasty is what they have to say. Listen, I wouldn't repeat what they have to say on the program, because it just lacks any substance. And apart from that, as I said to a caller earlier, it's 3 days in the week I don't deal with stupid people. Today, tomorrow, and yesterday. I don't deal with stupid people on those days. So I really want to engage those individuals on that sort of thing. All right? 1473, yes, I know. 1473-440-7377. Those are the numbers for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight. Yeah, all it does want evidence, so we give all the evidence. That is the note that was sent around during last month. Yeah, what is the situation with the autoclave at the General Hospital right now? Are people able to have their surgeries done? Yeah? Because it says elective surgery. So that's surgeries that in your all mind could wait. Not emergency, like somebody coming in with a gunshot wound or some kind of thing. That is emergency surgery. And even in those situations, how are you all sterilizing the equipment if there's a problem with the autoclave? Yeah? So you're facing that situation. And while all of that is going on, what did the Prime Minister say about medication when he was on that program yesterday? I might have what you say about medication and so on there.
Hi, good evening. My name is Marilyn. Hello?
Yes, we're here with you clearly. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm calling from New York, and I just want to know, is there a plan that the government have in regards to health care in terms of medication for patients who are admitted to the hospital? It is my understanding, and I have had that experience in the past, where patient's family has to go out to the pharmacies on the outside to purchase medication, which is very expensive. Does the government have a plan for the future as to having free medication in the hospital for the patients?
Okay. Thank you so much, caller.
I think the answer is no. We do not have a plan for free medication. I mean, not even the United States is medication free. We simply, in a small island like Grenada, can't afford to simply give medication for free.
Hi, good evening. My name is Marilyn.
Yeah, you can't give medication for free, yeah, but you could give a company who you're not even sure. You could give a company who I've said to you on this program, they are not even sure that that company can work in the state of Grenada along with Cubans and not face consequences in the U.S. because the U.S. law is very clear in relation to the Cuban embargo. It's very clear that you cannot work with people who are employed by the Cuban state. If it's in medical research, they make a little leeway in relation to medical research, and you still can't just come to Grenada and say, well, we're working with them and it's medical research. No, you have to get permission from the U.S. State Department so that Mount Sinai, before it engages, and that's if it is research, in this instance, they are going to manage the Grenadian healthcare system. Yeah? They could call it whatever it want. They're going to manage the Grenada healthcare system and advise. And they are being paid for that service. And they have operatives of the Cuban state that are working in Grenada's healthcare system. But at the same time, I continue to say, at the same time that they were telling us that, remember, these people were also telling us, they were also saying to us that we're going to be getting some doctors from Africa, some doctors and nurses from Africa. So there has to be a reason behind that. There has to be some sort of reasoning behind why they're saying that. And I would say if they're going to stab the Cubans in the back, a lot of Grenadians would not be standing there for that. A lot of Grenadians, I'm telling you straight, a lot of Grenadians are standing for that. Right? The new National Party, St. Andrew Northeast, presents the annual Pre-Fathers Day dinner that's taking place on Saturday at the Graves Conference in St. Andrew. Come with your social battery fully charged starting from 4 p.m. So that's the St. Andrew Northeast New National Party. They're having their Pre-Fathers Day dinner that's taking place this Saturday at the Graves Conference Room in St. Andrew. And they say to come with your social battery fully charged. So come to eat, mingle, chat, talk, laugh, drink, play a little dominoes, make a little dance, them kind of thing, all right? Yeah, wait now, so weekend is Father's Day? Wow, okay. Believe me, I knew not. I knew not that weekend was Father's Day. 14734407377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside of tonight's program. Yeah?
Speaking about Hurricane Beryl and us letting the public understand that this is not a walk in the park, the recovery effort. The government received, through its insurance, $118 million to respond to Beryl. and it was for specific purposes, to help with farmers, fishermen, etc. But the experts told us that to get back to some sense of normality in terms of rebuilding, we need approximately $800 or so million. So you understand, $118 million is just a drop in the bucket. The government of Grenada must be commended for its effort in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Neighboring islands which were affected by Hurricane Beryl have not gotten as close to our recovery efforts in terms of housing and critical infrastructure, and even cleanup. North Carolina.
That is a joke. I spoke to a mother of 4 living in a tent in Carriacou today. And we know the weather that's passing right now. I spoke to a mother of 4 living in a tent in Carriacou. Right now, as we speak, she's sleeping in a tent. Well, if she can sleep, in a tent tonight. Yeah? In a tent tonight, in this sort of weather, in Carriacou tonight. We must commend that, right? We must commend that kind of thing. And it is untrue, because when you see Union Island and Bakeway and these other islands, and you realize what has been taking place on those islands, and the benefits that the people there have received from their government and are still receiving, yeah? And the reconstruction, how it's being done on those islands. Can't say that Carriacou, we advanced to them. That is nonsense. You haven't even given out a single house in Petit Martinique, but we advanced than who? Not a single house in Petit Martinique has been given out or completed. Nearly a year. So you'll be advanced than who? Building materials that people trying to get, they can't get the building material. Up to today, I double-check in Carriacou today. I personally double-check in Carriacou today to find out if, due to what the Prime Minister said yesterday, they start to give material. The people say they don't know what we're talking about. Nobody contacted them and tell them anything about payment. So they're still holding on to the material until government pay them. I called
the Ministry
today.
of Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs has announced that the government's material assistance program for residents on the islands is on hold until further notice.
Just remember when this one came out just earlier this year.
This was confirmed by the ministry's public relations officer, Deanna Isaac. Speaking to GBN, Isaac explained that the pause is necessary to facilitate a review of the project.
The government's material assistance is on hold. We are reviewing the program, so persons be mindful of that. It's not that the government is stopping the assistance to the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, but with everything that you do, you must have a review. So we are reviewing the program, and in short order, persons will know after the reading of the budget, the 2025 budget, what is the next step in terms of government's assistance with the material assistance.
Over the past 7 months of recovery efforts, Isaac noted that the government distributed millions of dollars worth of building materials. She also highlighted ongoing housing initiatives aimed at ensuring that residents receive assistance in securing proper shelter.
Over the last 7 months, we have given out over $30 million in material assistance, targeting mainly the persons who got damages in terms of level 1 and level 2. As you know, Hands That Serve came in. They gave us 27 prefabricated houses, and we now have Happy Homes on the ground in Carriacou, a collaboration between Happy Homes and the government of Grenada. They're presently doing the foundation for housing at Dumfries, 20 new prefabricated houses. The people will be informed about the criteria very shortly.
Additionally, 3 of the 35 houses under the Build Back Better project were handed over to families over the weekend.
The Build Back Better homes, I am happy to report that out of the 35 homes that we have under construction, 3 of those homes last weekend were delivered to the recipients. We had a lovely ceremony, and they were very, very happy. So the Build Back Better homes are continuing. We have now started in Petit Martinique. I'm happy to say we have 3 houses under construction in Petit Martinique.
And remember, this is since before the budget has been read. And they had 3 houses under construction in Petit Martinique. This is June, and not a damn house has been given out.
Back better. So the government continues to do what it has to do to help Carriacou and Petit Martinique rebound after such a devastating hurricane.
The ministry has assured residents that updates on the resumption of material assistance will be provided in due course. Rena P. Thomas, GBN News.
So recognize now that for 2 instances, the people of Petit Martinique and Carriacou who were trying to get materials couldn't get it. They can't get under the program now because the institutions, the places, the hardwares have said, government owe us. We cannot give all you any material because the government not paying us. Yeah, they say how much million they give out. They ain't mentioning that they didn't pay. So now the hardwares have said we're not giving. We see the type of weather we're having, which makes it even more difficult to do construction at this point in time. And during the dry period, earlier this year, they stopped giving out material. Before the budget was read, they stopped giving out material at a point in time when people should have been getting the material and doing the construction in the dry season. Now, with rain pouring, bucket a drop, cat and dog falling out the sky, bucket a drop. Now you want the people to go and do it. Meanwhile, a mother of four is in a tent tonight in Carriacou. I ain't gonna call the area because I know how spiteful and disgustingly wicked and despicable you individuals are when somebody speaks up. So I'm not gonna say where, because all you know is more than one mother of 4. But a mother of 4 is in a tent in the rainy conditions in Carriacou tonight while you go to bed. Nice, and you hug up your pillow and you're nice there, and some of them in the AC, and they go and they're nice and they're cozy. Remember that mother of 4 who is in Carriacou tonight, sleeping in a tent nearly a year after the hurricane. Yeah? Meanwhile, I think it has some houses sit down empty. The mother now waiting for government to build the house for her. She's unemployed. Unemployed. One of you all victims. Unemployed. And you know it are multiple, so I still can't tell who it is I'm talking about. Multiple. I can't take the call right now. We're about to close. Multiple. You all have that situation in Carriacou tonight. And I want everyone to remember that person in their prayers. When they go to bed tonight, remember that mother of 4 had to hug up children. If she could sleep with rain beating the tent tonight, the people in Petit Martinique who are in the same situation, sleeping in a tent every night, they had to go and sleep in the tent. They camp in. But only 3 houses building under the Build Back Better in Carriacou since the beginning of the year. 6 months passed and only can't finish the damn house on them yet. But coming to boast about give a pat on, what pat on the back? Or you should get a thump. That's what they should get on all your back. But you see me before I go and say something I shouldn't say. Folks, that's all the time for, yeah, because that mother situation, I spoke to the person today. I spoke to them. Nobody didn't tell me. I spoke with them. I spoke to that mother. I heard the situation. Made sure to contact the place and them and say, well, okay, are they giving material now? Because they don't want to get material. Spoke to the place and them say, are they giving material now? I asked them, I said, well, how are you building? Say, we don't know, but we could try something. They don't even know how they're going to rebuild the house and so on. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night. Again, the Carriacou meeting is off. The meeting that ought to be taking place in Carriacou tomorrow evening, it is postponed. So we will be on with Talking Points at our normal time with you tomorrow night, God's willing. In whatever you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you, and definitely not about you. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'm out of here. Do enjoy the rest of your night tonight.
salute you for the things you bear. Despite the shame and rejection, you chose to play the right part. From the day of conception, long before the vomiting start, you made up your mind to love me. You never tried to throw me away. You didn't abort your firstborn like some of them young girls today. You've always been my support throughout the years. In my darkest days, I caused you so many tears. You always pick me up anytime I fall. So I'm putting you right up on a pedestal. Time to step forward and show your face. Mommy, stand up and take your place. Show them you are a woman of grace. Stand up and take your place. You are my number one in this race. Stand up and take your place. I'm singing to you right now just in case. Stand up and take your place. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in society. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in the family. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Padam, 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 pam, pam, padam. Woman, Grenadian woman, the most authentic woman on earth. Woman, Caribbean woman, come on and show them what you are worth. Female leaders like Queen Nanny, join the Maroon Rebellion. Our own dear sister Jacqueline Craft killed you in the revolution. A former minister of education, trying to install hope in the youth. Yet she was so brutally gunned down, but Grenadians never paid tribute. Now me a Motley and Kamla Bisesa is proof of confidence in a female leader. So based on our political atmosphere, I am proud to emulate Sister Emma Lymphere. My dear, time to step forward and show your face. Emma, stand up and take your place. Show them you are a woman of grace. Stand up and take your place. You are my number one in this race. Stand up and take your place. Nobody cannot point finger in your face. Emma, stand up and take your place. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in society. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in the country. Padam, 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 pam, pam, padam. Woman, black woman, superior because of your melanin. My queen, woman, beautiful woman. Now is the time to show off your skin. Michelle Obama and Oprah make history in America. Nicki Minaj and Rihanna spreading the black Caribbean culture. Eugenia Charles and Rosa Parks, Winnie Mandela from Africa. An outstanding black female figure, well respected the world over. The role that women play in the world today could never be underestimated, no way. From sports to culture, politics to religion, most women making a valid contribution. Time to step forward and show your face. Woman, stand up and take your place. Show them you are a woman of grace. Stand up and take your place. You are my number one in life's race. Stand up and take your place. I'm singing to you right now just in case. Woman, stand up and take your place. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in society. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and and take your place universally.